Welcome back, everybody, to our Operational and Services Committee. On this committee are myself, Councillors O'Connor, Councillor O'Toole, and Mayor Clayton. So we'll start off with our adoption of the agenda. Councillor O'Connor.
I move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Thank you for that. In favor. Jeez. And that carries. We have no delegations, so we'll go into our service area updates, and I'll go to Chief Clavin, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. We'll start off in engineering and transportation with some snow removal updates. We've had a substantial amount of snow over the last kind of 3 to 4 weeks here, close to 70 centimeters in November and into the double digits again in December so far. We will be done our priority 2 blading by the end of the day today. We're then going to move on into address some of the paved lanes around the city that are in relatively rough condition with our crews. We mostly finished the second week of residential rotation on Friday. However, there were a few areas that didn't get complete. We are returning to those this week to complete them with our contractors. As well, we are then continuing back into week A areas that had a substantial amount of snow that came after their first rotation. So we're going to prioritize those by the worst areas first and then complete them next week. We're continuing on our windrow pickup. We're about 50% complete on that right now and should be done by the end of next week. And after that, we'll start hauling the piles that are in some of the cul-de-sacs around the city, which I think we've got around 400 of. That'll take a couple weeks to get through those, at least a couple weeks to get through those. Outside of snow removal, we have issued a request for proposals for road condition assessment and pavement management system update for 2025 to 2027. As well, we have an RFP out for the Crystal Lake tree planting project that is a partnership with FRIA. In corporate facility management, and with one of our outstanding items for the Golden Age Center, we've been working with them, and they have engaged a firm to create concept drawings and a budget. Administration will come back with a report in January prior to them advancing so that we're in agreement on what the next steps are. A couple projects that we've finished up. Center 2000 had all of its painting, siding repairs, and deck refurbishment complete. That project also encountered some structural issues as they were doing it, which took a little bit longer to complete subsequent to that. We've completed the dressing room lighting conversion to LED at Design Works Center, and for the City Service Center, washroom renovation and building envelope project is posted, and we should be into that here early next year. In transit, ridership continues to improve, with conventional transit up 49% over last year to 215,000 rides. Grande Prairie accessible transit's up about 5% year to date, and our on-demand is up 36%. Last time I spoke about this, we were having some challenges with staffing. However, we have brought on some more operators, so we should see service levels for on-demand go back up to usual. Environment parks continue to plow pathways, clearing bus stops, and making ice at our outdoor rinks. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Okay, thanks for that, Chief Clavin. Councillor O'Connor.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Palat. My question, I'm wondering if you couldn't, Chief Clavin, remind the people of how many hours, how many kilometers of road, and how many loads that we've taken away. There's an impression that some people feel that the service has been inadequate, and that's not the case. So I'm wondering if you could share that with everyone.
Sure. Thanks, Chair Palat. Yeah, as far as how many hours we've been working, I think as of kind of the weekend, we were up over 6,000 hours for the last snow event, and that's building as we go. I think we're well over 1,000 loads that we've taken into the snow dump since then, and we've had crews working 24/7 for over 20 days now. And largely we're just dealing with a lot of snow, challenging conditions with some freeze and thaw, and then subsequent snow events where we started one and then we had another big dump that came after that. And right now we're mostly on policy for our service level. As far as our priority 2 blading, we'll be on policy for that. Priority 1, we've been on policy the entire time, ensuring that priority 1 roads have been clear and bare for that time. Residential, we have been, just with the conditions, it will be a little bit behind on the standard as we didn't get to all of the week B areas by the end, and that was largely due to the subsequent amount of snow and then the freeze thaw that we saw in that area.
Yes, and if someone's street hasn't been touched, what's the process? Call 311 and say, hey, they haven't done my street yet, especially in the B areas.
Thanks, Chair Palat. Certainly they can report it through 311 or through Access GP. We know that we did not get through. We also have a map online that shows all the streets that were done. So you could see if your street was erroneously done, if we had it highlighted, I believe the green color, that would show that we had been there. And we had not been there, then definitely report that so that we can ensure that we get back to it. But we do have people actively checking and recording where we've been in all the rotations.
Thank you. Excellent job from your department. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Palat. Along a similar vein, Chief Glavin, I understand we've had approximately 30% more snow in the last 30 days than we did all of last year. And so for me, it's not about the number of hours working, because I understand all of our equipment is being utilized. There's only so many staff and so many hours. It's more about, for me, it's right now about ice control. And so I know we only have so many sanders, but for the contractors, do they have capacity to pivot to sanding? What does sanding in residential look like? I think most of the snow is relatively managed, not all of it. I got a couple emails this morning, but it's the ice control that I'm concerned about currently.
Thanks, Mayor Clayton. So with ice control, we follow the same process as we do with our blading in that priority 1, priority 2. And then we will go into residential as warranted. And right now, with the residential, we were prioritizing some of the areas that were very hilly, like where you have a lot of grade. Some of this will be addressed with the second round of snow removal going into the weak A areas, where they'll peel off some of that ice. Now, it's not perfect. We won't get down to bare pavement in any of these areas, but we will attempt to ensure that in any of the significantly icy areas, we'll try to get to with our crews, but it's a challenge. So it's something I can take back to our team to discuss if there's an opportunity to do anything on the contract side for additional sanding. But right now, we do use our own crews for sanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so again, call 311 if your neighborhood is unsafe. Yeah, thanks. Okay.
Councillor Blackmore.
Thank you, Chair Palat. I wanted to call you Chair Bosch. Sorry. Chief Glavin, during the rain that fell, the unexpected rain that we get often, there was flooding in Center 2000, which has affected South Peace Archives and their new renovation somewhat. Do we know where that flooding came from? Is there a plan to mitigate that? Does facilities looked at the building?
Yeah, thanks, Chair Palat. I believe it was an issue with malfunctioning heat trace tape that was not providing the melt that it needed to for a rainwater leader, and with the freeze thaw, it caused the flood there. So it was an equipment malfunction. So I'll have to look at the design and see if they need some redundancy or something like that going forward. But right now, that's the best we have.
And can you tell me who would be responsible for paying for the damages that took place? Is that an insurance claim, a city claim? Does South Peace Archives need to look after it themselves? I know some of the flooding was in the joint storage area. I don't know if you can give me any information on that.
Thanks, Chair Palat. I don't know that a determination's been made on that yet, but they'll assess that and decide based on our legal department on which avenue they go with on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, appreciate the update, Chief Glavin, and all the answers. So we'll just move on. There's no other items, so we'll go to the outside of item list as well, please.
Thanks, Chair Palat. The only item that would get moved to Q1 of 2025 is the Golden Age Center item that will bring back a report in January.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, if we're all done with that, I would make a motion for the committee to receive the December 10th outstanding items list as amended for information.
Thank you for that. Motion's in order. Councillor Platt in favor. And that carries. And with that, we will adjourn and we'll be back momentarily for our next committee meeting. Thank you.